welcome back to the channel, IStandAlone Gaming, and today we're going to be playing something a little different. I'm kind of getting a little burnt out of trying to do Final Fantasy VII, so we're going to go ahead and do a bunch of quick little videos of games that I've enjoyed in the past, I don't know, couple weeks. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these and see if you guys will enjoy them as well. So I ended up already playing this. I did beat it. But it's such a super addicting game, and I feel like more people need to see it. You can literally beat it probably in like 4 or 5 hours if you really hunker down and get into it. But let's just go into it and see what happens. Yes, delete my other game. And this is how you start. So you start here, 0 points up in the top left, and it basically that is your currency. And there are 5 or 6 different currencies, and each one takes an upgrade to get to. So basically how this game works is you jump into a match. Now, you only do damage when you're within the crosshairs here, and you don't get to pick when the shots go off. Basically, your goal is to keep destroying these guys. The more you destroy them, the more bits you get. The longer the match goes on, the harder they become. So as you can see, I'm not doing a whole lot of damage there, and I only got 3 bits. So let's go back to home, and once you unlock something, more things pop up, and this is where the game really kind of shines. You get choices, so you get to pick which way you want to go. Typically, as you progress, I mean, it's not unlimited unlocks, but for the first, I want to say, hour and a half, it feels like there's a never-ending unlock system where you just keep going and going and going, and it's, you know, it's always a fun little experience when you find something that's very addicting. I don't know why it's so addicting, but I literally spent, like, after I watched somebody else playing it, I probably spent about, 4 or 5 hours just beating the game. But it was such a good time and well worth it, and I feel like more people need to see it. So that explains the video we're about to make. And yeah, so basically you just keep going through upgrading stuff, and as I said, once you upgrade stuff you get more unlocked, and that's pretty much the main principle of the game. So, I mean, if you really think about it, the main principle of almost any game with a progression. But yeah, so let's just keep going ahead, taking care of some of these squares. Nobody likes squares anyway. But yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy VII has been fun. Like, I really enjoy the game. I really enjoy playing it. I really enjoy maxing out our trophies. I mean, it'll be between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII. It's like the first 2 games I ever worried about, like, 100% completion. But yeah, you know, every now and then you just need a little break, and there's nothing wrong with that. The beauty of having a save game, you know, you can always come back to them. So when you do destroy these squares, you can see these little, I'm trying to see if I can get one to show up real quick. These little bits, you actually still have to collect these. So make sure you are collecting those as you destroy the squares. If you are right on top of them, you should automatically collect them. Now, as you do damage, you also take damage. And you can see our health on the top left there. So the more damage that you do, the more damage you actually take. So on and so forth, and it keeps going up and up and up and up exponentially. So you pretty much need to keep making sure you upgrade as much as possible. So far we only got attack damage, HP percentage, and spawn rate percentage. So the more spawn, obviously the more bits you can get because you can take on more enemies. And then obviously damage is going to increase the damage that we do. So you won't run into that where you can actually keep one-shotting people. It is nice when you can get 2 in a crosshair like that. We got 19 points this time. So there's obviously more. We get attack size, which is very nice. I really really enjoy getting influence there. Armor's nice. Repair tool's nice. Repair tool is basically just regenerating health. Connection buster is basically if you hit multiple enemies inside your square, you do an extra 5% damage, all the way up to 25% because there's 5 levels, so on and so forth. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take influence. You're gonna see that our little rectangle or whatever you want to call it, our little target zone there is going to be increased, which is very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and take damage. Brawn rate is very good as well, but I think in comparison, I think damage is the way to go. Always one-shot these blocks and move on to the next one and earn money even quicker. Plus, if you're one-shotting these enemies, you also taking less damage, whereas if you have to do 2 shots, I think you still take the full brunt of the damage, even if they only have like 10% health. It's a very kind of feels slow paced at first because, you know, these guys show up slower and slower, but as the game progresses and they show up more and more and more health, like that, it definitely has a way of growing on you. So we have our first SP point, which is from leveling up, which is another currency. And every time you level up, you get an SP point. And as you can see, red enemies drop +1 bits, which means we'll get double the amount of bits. And we're going to go ahead and take that for sure. So all these upgrades are very nice. However, Magnet is probably one of the most underrated. So I know it's very expensive to get there at first. I mean, 300 seems like a hell of a lot, which it kind of is, especially right now in this game at this point. But it's very underrated. It's so much easier to grab all of your bits if you have Magnet attached. So go ahead and get some power. Go ahead and get spawn rate. Go ahead and get health, and we will head back in. Yeah, once you get enough spawn rate, you can get multiple, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 squares in one blast, which is, chef's kiss, right? So just got to keep it moving though. But yeah, it's the first time I played it, super addicting. It doesn't seem like it would be a whole lot, but like, some games don't need to be. It's just an interesting concept you never had before. I mean, there are a lot of similar games without the upgrade window and stuff like that, but it's a very interesting game. But as you can see, we got 52 that time, which means they're definitely dropping double the bits. So I'm gonna go with attack size again, go with attack damage, and I think we're gonna go with a little bit of armor. And then 10 points left. Let's go with spawn rating. So let's keep it moving. Always go for the 2-fer if you can. Got him. Again, gotta make sure you grab your bits. In a row. Almost had them. So yeah, it's a different change of pace. It's nice and slow if you let it, but it's also, I don't know, it just was the first time I played this game. I just was like so addicted to it, and I have no idea what to do. But I had a lot of fun playing it and beating it. So once you beat it, you do have all the achievements, so that's nice too. But yeah, it was interesting. So basically, we just keep going through the same song and dance. Make sure you're getting HP, make sure you're getting attack power, make sure you're getting, all the stuff that you need to progress. And the pink guy that we saw in the last run is a boss. So if you can defeat the boss without dying yourself, then you unlock the next prestige. And every prestige, the enemies become, I don't want to say faster, but some of them are faster. You get different types of enemies. You get, I think you get more bits per kill. And yeah, so it's definitely a fun game, fun little game. A lot of positive reviews. It's called Nodebuster. I think I mentioned it in the beginning, but yeah, definitely check it out if you're looking for something that's like short and sweet, you know. Definitely a fun game to play. But yeah, as you can see, we do, as we hit him, we lose a shitload of health ourselves, but then he's also losing health as well. So we're gonna end up passing here. Yep. Got 105 points though, so let's go ahead and we got to do some more armor. Armor and repair tool would be nice. So let's do 2 of those. Restore some health. We'll do some extra armor, and then we'll spend that last one on our max health. There's pretty much 2 ways to get past a prestige if you start struggling. 1, getting more armor. 2, getting more health regeneration, because then you're outliving the damage that they are doing to you. And 3 is obviously doing more damage per output than they are to you. So you can one shot. Definitely want to try to go for the one shot. Always try to look for the groups or clusters. Get you some more bits. You're gonna, you know, waste a shot. Might as well be on 2 guys instead of, you know, just the 1. Get this guy down. I don't know if we're gonna beat him this time, but it's gonna be close. I think we're gonna lose. Yep, there we go. Close though. Once we get him down, we're in good position. So I'm gonna grab all the repair tools there. We're now at 0.5 regeneration. I'm gonna grab all the attack we can get. We'll reach again. Yeah, definitely interesting game. I don't think I've ever played anything that was quite like this. Like, there are games where it's like a, you know, you're pointing a reticle and you're shooting stuff and everything like that, but it didn't incorporate the upgrades. So it's definitely interesting in that aspect. But yeah, definitely a very enjoyable game. And let me know in the comments if you checked it out after seeing this. Great. I'd like to know that. You know, I'd like to see if somebody enjoyed it as much as I did. So definitely let me know. Now, there we go. Let's try to grab this now. Let's see if we can beat him this time. I think we should be able to. We should have a pretty decent amount of health regen. We should be able to take him this time. It's already about halfway. Go, quarter, eighth. 2 more, 1 more. Boom. So, as you can see now, acquired resources, we now have a purple one. So that is your 3rd resource. Every time you defeat a boss, you will get one of those. And as you can see, you get certain upgrades with that point. So we're going to go ahead and do it. 200% spawn rate. Very nice, very nice. There is another one that's over here, which is attack speed, which is nice. You can always get that too. But yeah, I think I go with this one first, and then I would go for the attack speed. I don't feel like we're hurting too much. And now you can see you're at a prestige. So 0 is where we started. 1 is where we're going to be playing. And as you can see, squares got a little smaller here, and the smaller squares obviously are a little faster. Ooh, got 4 of them there. Level up, that's nice. tell they're getting a little tougher. We got bigger guys now showing up that actually have health bars. They also drop a little bit more of the resource, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And there we go, 119. We got one special point or skill point, whatever they want to call it. Do extra 50% towards bosses. And I think we're just going to go ahead and go for attack influence. Some more. I'm going to finish out the attack there. We're going to get close to finishing out the health, and we're just going to leave it there. Go ahead and start the next session. I feel like attack range is probably one of the best upgrades you can buy, so highly recommend you getting that first. I would say second would be attack, and then health regen, and armor are all kind of like third tier. Mainly because if you have a wide area of attack, you can take on more of these squares, right? I mean, you're limited to your space, and then the obvious reason for attack is to make sure that you're one-shotting them and you can move on to the next square, you know what I mean? So, or next target, whatever you want to call them. Just my opinion. You don't have to take it if you don't want to. But yeah. So it's basically rinse and repeat from here on out. It's definitely a fun game. Highly recommended. At least check it out. I mean, you don't have to beat it like I did right off the bat, but at least check it out. Let me know what you think. For how simple it is, it's addicting. I don't have any other way to explain it other than that. So, but yeah. So I'm just gonna keep getting upgrades here. Might as well keep getting spawn rate. Might as well get some more enemies we can take care of. Try to take out this big guy. There we go. That cluster. There we go. Again. Alright, trying to see if we can get this big guy. Try my best to make sure I'm getting other squares in the attack, especially when I'm doing the bigger guys. There we go, 170, not too bad. You can go this way. Giant Slayer's not bad if you're, you know, obviously going straight for the bosses. 50% damage against bosses sounds fantastic. And I'm gonna go ahead and put one in here. And typically, as you upgrade things to a certain level or max them out, so say if I max this one out, or if I get to like level 5 or something, then typically another thing will show up as an upgrade. And it's just you know, rinse and repeat. Definitely fun. I don't see it being a game that you want to just, you know, keep playing forever and ever and ever, and you know, but it is a fun game, so check it out. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm the only one that enjoys something like this, but I have a feeling a lot of people will enjoy something like this. Let's take out the big guy. Get as many as we can. There we go. 190 this time. Not a whole lot more. I think if we get armor, go ahead and max out our armor. And then as you can see, if we got that one, now we have better endurance, which is more max health. And I feel like that's probably worth going for. And yeah, restoring health on kill is definitely very nice as well. generate 4 health per second. I mean, that's definitely something that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and get all that and head on to the next one. I think that 4 health per second is going to be enough to carry us into the next prestige, to be honest. We're doing a decent amount of damage. I wouldn't say we're doing a crazy amount because obviously we're not one-shotting towards the end there. But 4 health regeneration is like 8 times what we had before. So definitely think this is going to help us out. There's a bunch of enemies on the screen now. Definitely picks up, you know, we're only on prestige 1, goes all the way up to 25, so no spoiler, but yeah, it's there's a lot, so it's interesting. It gets more and more crowded, and not a bad game. Definitely check it out. Let me know what you think. Yeah, might say it a couple more times, but I wonder what happens if it goes to the, like, he escapes. Never had that happen before, but also just died beforehand. So I think we're gonna go ahead and take on the well, first off, before I make that decision, let's go ahead and get the 1 health on kill. Obviously starts another thing, and you can see that that one requires another currency, that one requires another currency, so on and so forth. And yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and plundering is also like the next thing that you want to get. Has a chance for doubling your resources, which, you know, further on prestige, that doubling your resources, like say for example you get 10 off of 1 enemy, you're gonna get 20. So I mean, it only goes up to a 50% chance, but even still, that's fairly good. So we're gonna go ahead and take the Giant Slayer. I want to take on this boss and get him out of here, and then we can move on to the next prestige and do it all over. Oh, 5 banger right there. Let's try to get this big guy. Oh, a bunch of them in there that time. Good. One more. And boss time. Let's try to stay on the boss and do as much damage as we possibly can. Still not enough damage. If it comes back. Never. Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. Cool. I definitely get it then. There we go. We got 1 level up. We got 1 purple. Looking really good. So obviously we're gonna go for the attack speed, and getting attack speed unlocks damage. So we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go get damage. +3 is really good compared to our +1 over here. And yeah, looking real good. So if you use the WASD, you can move around, or you can hold your right mouse button and drag to move through the menu here. Just quick little tidbit. I'm sure some of you will figure it out, but I figured I also should mention it. So let's go ahead and grab that. Spawn rate level 10. I think we're gonna go for more. I think we're just gonna use boss armor. I mean, can't really get anything else just yet. move on to Prestige 2, and every time you do a Prestige, as you can see there, you're doing a lot less damage. Might be worth going back and checking out Prestige 1 again, just to see if we can get more bits. But let's see how many bits we can get before we perish in this Prestige. And I'll show you that you can go back, and you can actually just kind of like grind a little bit, get some of those points back. Yeah, we're hardly doing any damage here. And we got 135, which isn't terrible. However, let's go ahead and put Connection Buster. I feel like that's going to help us extra 10% damage. Let's go back to Prestige 1, as I said. But now we'll be one-shotting these guys. And as you one-shot these goalies, another thing about going back is the boss doesn't show up a second time. So literally, if you don't die, you could just keep theoretically going forever. However, as time goes by, everything gets tougher. So, I mean, eventually you will probably perish, but try not to say die too much. But yeah, it's an interesting game. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to showcase it a little bit. I know there's already videos on YouTube for it, but you know, if I enjoy something, I feel like I should also mention it. So definitely let me know if you play it based off just watching. So yeah, once you get back or go back to another level, pretty much just kind of waiting until they get strong enough that you cannot get anything else out of the level. If that makes sense. Because eventually they will get strong enough to overtake you. And yeah, just the name of the game, unfortunately. See if I can get this big box quick. Nice. I try to tend to stay towards the center, especially once you're not doing max damage. If you're not one-shotting people, it's a little easier to kind of group everything together in the center of the screen than it is to go anywhere else. But here is the point of reason of coming back to the level. If you struggle on one, chances are if you go back, you'll get more resources. All right, so let's go ahead and get double resources, and we'll get attack size, attack size, attack size. We're gonna finish out attack size there, and then we're gonna go ahead and go back to Prestige 1 again. But we have a much bigger attack size now. We should be able to take out much more enemies, and we also unlock double resources. 10% chance. However, that's 1 in 10 enemies dropping double resources. Definitely very nice. Next upgrade will be 1 in 5. One after that will be like 1 in 3. One after that will be like 4 out of 5 enemies. So definitely keep going there. 10% per upgrade. Eventually it'll be 1 out of every 2. Like I said, I try to stay towards the center a little bit. Once you start getting pretty good amounts of bits, you can pretty much just go crazy doing as many unlocks as you want, until you obviously need the next resource, which can be a little bit of a pain. But I see why they did it that way instead of making everything just the red bits. I feel like it would be, I don't want to say too easy, but like it almost gives you another hurdle. You know what I mean? It's an extra challenge on top of what you're already trying to do. And in that essence, I can see why they did it that way. All right, 637 that time. Not bad. So we can go ahead and get another 10% chance. Double resources. Let's go ahead and do crowding twice. And we're going to go ahead and start the next match. So we're going to do this a few times. before we move back to Prestige 2, mainly because I want to get plundering up, and we're getting a decent amount of resources going back. So take these guys out, get as much resources as possible. Name of the game. Boom, that was a good one. There we go. Take out this big guy. Like I said, try to get as many of those little ones in the same shot, because as you do that, you actually do more damage, especially with that one buff. I think we're doing 10% extra damage when there is 4 or more enemies in one shot. I also think it's an extra 5% per extra enemy. So like, say if I hit 5 people, it'll be an extra, 5-10%. Could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't work that way. I'd have to go reread it. Making good progress. I think we are definitely higher than what we were last time, bits wise. There we go, 733. Go ahead and do damage. I know that's going to take a while to get to that. We're going to be getting this fairly soon, and the blue enemies obviously are going to be the next tier of upgrades. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is, let's see if we can max this out quick. Nope, 1 point off. And now we're going to go back to Prestige 2 and see if we can do some work here. Still a little shy on the damage. Kinda sucks, but as you can tell, every time you prestige, you actually get more resources per kill. So it's sometimes beneficial to go back a few times just so you can last a little longer, and then come back and hopefully make a decent amount of hits. I want to say every time you prestige, you get an extra bit for the kill. But again, doesn't work all the time. So we might have to go and prestige 1 for a while. And yeah. Get out of here, you squares. Alright, so not doing too bad. We're almost going to be leveled up again, which will be another special point, which is nice. Doing a decent amount of damage. Could be doing better, obviously, or we'd be in Prestige 2 right now. But we should get at least, I want to say at least 800 points. 800 bits this playthrough. So, making pretty good progress. I think we're doing really well. And yeah. It's kind of hard to mess up this game. I mean, literally you end up, I want to say, you end up losing almost every time unless you defeat the boss. So kind of weird how you have a game where your whole intent is to lose essentially just to get powers. But yeah, it's interesting. Level up, there we go. Nice little SP point for us. 900. So I think we're gonna go just straight attack. Alright, yeah, so we're just gonna go straight attack. We're gonna take Connection Buster, which is gonna be an extra 5% per enemy. It is per enemy. So, if you get 2 enemies, it's obviously gonna be your 15%. Let me upgrade like 15% at level 3, right? And then if there's 3 enemies, it'll be 30%, I'm assuming, because it'll be 5% again for each enemy, and then so on and so forth. So if you get 4 enemies, it'll be like 45, 5 enemies, like, what, 60? So it does keep growing the more enemies you hit. But with that being said, that's just a quick little showcase. If you want to see me beat this game, go ahead and leave a comment down below and just tell me if you are interested in the game. I really enjoy playing it. This will be my second playthrough, but definitely very fun to play. Let me know if you also started playing it and if you're enjoying it. But with that being said, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Take care.